What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's dive into Smackdown from February the 9th, 2024. A very solid Smackdown for the most part. Very solid show. We're still building towards the Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks' time. So this is a very good show for the most part. Even though Roman Reigns and The Rock weren't there, it was still good. And man, that press conference was great. If you haven't watched it, guys, I urge you guys to go ahead and watch it. Go and watch it. At least watch the last 15 minutes of it. At least watch the last 15 minutes of it. And it was tremendous. The Rock being heel is absolutely fantastic. It's great. I'm very, very excited for this. I can't wait to see where they go with this next. And like I say, SmackDown was great, man. SmackDown was great. SmackDown was really, really good, story-wise. So, we kicked the show off with Triple H. So he gets on the mic, and Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, they're in the ring with Triple H. So, the fans chant Triple H. And he tells them that that's what feels. It feels like they're on the road to WrestleMania. He welcomes everybody to SmackDown. And he says, last night in Las Vegas, it was an incredible kickoff event to get them started on the road to Grand Stadium Mall. He said, but somewhere yesterday they took a hard left turn and the road is on fire, but it feels really good. Triple H says that he can clear up one thing. The fans begin to chant, Rocky sucks. Triple H he pauses, he looks at the crowd. They said they want to clear up some things because it felt like there was some confusion. Triple H says maybe some people don't know their role. The fans pop for that. He wanted to set the record straight. He says that he doesn't care where you sit at the table. There's one thing that's abundantly clear, and that is the answers come from one place and one place only, and we're looking at him. He says the main event of WrestleMania 40, the biggest WrestleMania of all time, will feature Roman Reigns. He's going to defend his WWE Undisputed Championship against Cody Rhodes. And then Triple H says that the decision will disappoint some people, and they won't like it. Then he does. It doesn't matter if you like that decision. And then he welcomes everybody to the road to WrestleMania. That was great. So Nick Aldis, he gets on the mic and he says that the WWE Championship match has been decided, and they'll shift their attention to Seth Rollins. He says after extensive discussions all week, they've collectively agreed that Seth's challenger at WrestleMania will be determined in Australia in the Elimination Chamber. And they'll kick things off with a series of matches to determine the participants in that match. Then Nick Aldis says that WWE management is a united front, and he hands it over to Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce says that he begins to direct everybody to the Tron for 12 superstars who are going to have the opportunity to compete in the Elimination Chamber. The 12 stars are as follows: Randy Orton, Bronson Reed, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, AJ Styles, The Miz, Bobby Lashley, Ivar, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio, and LA Knight. So that was cool there. And then Adam Pearce says that it'll be 6 matches over the next week. So two will take place tonight. Two will take place on Monday Night Raw, and the final 2 will take place on next week's SmackDown. And then it's gonna be the first match is gonna be Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. So Drew McIntyre, he comes out. He says that he wants to take a moment to tell everybody thank you, and to thank you to prove to him with their wallets that they feel the same way he does about CM Punk. He says his shirt is selling more than CM Punk's shirts. He says that Punk will not get any penny of the profits Drew says that everyone is happy that Cody chose Roman Reigns. Drew says he tried to reason with Cody verbally on Raw, but he didn't listen. But when he reasoned with him verbally, Cody chose Roman. Drew says that he saved WrestleMania, and now he'll save the world title. And all he has to do is go through the Elimination Chamber and have his moment at WrestleMania. He says he will give them a champion they can be proud of, and a champion that's best for business. This was absolutely fucking tremendous. I love heel Drew McIntyre. He kicks major ass. Major ass. This is great. Personally, I don't think you really need to have 12 guys in there. I really don't. That's a little bit too much, but it does make sense. It gives a lot of these guys something to really do. So this is great. So this leads us into our first match of the night, which was Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles, the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. LA Knight comes out. He gets involved on commentary. And then Drew shoves AJ into LA Knight towards the end of the match. And then Drew wins via the Claymore. So they're going to obviously continue the AJ Styles LA Knight feud, which makes perfect sense. Where do you start their feud? I have no idea. Maybe the Elimination Chamber. I think that would be great. If not the Elimination Chamber, definitely WrestleMania. Maybe night one of WrestleMania. Because both LA Knight and AJ Styles deserve to be on the WrestleMania card. They do deserve it. They're both good. So this is great. Drew winning was the right decision. Moving on from that, Kayla Braxton, she's backstage with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn says that he tells her that nothing is threatening WWE, especially around WrestleMania season. Sami says last year he was in the main event, and this year he's watching that window close fast. But he does not have time to get emotional. He has to look at what's right in front of him, and that is in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match against Randy Orton. If he gets through Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre is waiting for him. Sami says that it's not an easy path, but it's a path, and he'll take it. Okay, that's pretty cool. I dig that promo. Again, Sami Zayn also needs to be on the card for WrestleMania as well, but I don't know how you do that. I really don't. I'm not sure. Some guys are going to be short this year for WrestleMania. Some guys are going to be short. I don't know, man. I really don't. Moving on. So we get a pretty deadly vignette there on a lake. They talk about WrestleMania season and how they'll show everyone who they are. So that was great. I love Pretty Deadly. Triple H needs to quit being a fucking coward and start pushing these guys. Pretty Deadly are super good. They're way too good to just be doing nothing on the main roster. If Triple H doesn't want to push them on the main roster, please send them back to NXT, and Shawn Michaels could book them fairly well. Moving on. So we get our women's qualifier, Elimination Chamber qualifier match. Bianca Belair, she defeated Michin, a.k.a. Mia Yim, via the KOD. So that's fine there. Not really all that important. Michin, a.k.a. Mia Yim, no, she's not it. Moving on. Bron Breakker, he's backstage with Triple H. And Triple H tells Bron that he's very proud of him. And it's impressive to see how far he's come. Triple H tells Bron that he is anxious to see him at this level. Bron says that he wants to pick his brain because he doesn't know if he wants to be on Raw or Smackdown. So then he dips out because Paul Heyman comes in. So Paul Heyman, he shakes Bron Breakker's hand. Triple H asks Bron to give him a second, and Bron dips out. So Paul Heyman says that that's a talent from a wacky family. So I get the reference. So that's great. I love the Steiner reference there. Triple H asks him what he wants. Paul Heyman says that he can see it's not a good time after what happened last night, but he'll be back next week. And when he comes back, he'll be with his tribal chief Roman Reigns and The Rock. And then Triple H says, looking forward to it. I'm like, oh shit. They're planting the fucking seeds. Let's go. This rules. Again, guys, I'm going to reiterate. Go watch the press conference. That thing was lit. I loved it. It was absolutely tremendous. Heel Rock, heel Roman. Tremendous, man. Tremendous. I am so down for it. So down for it. I'm still ready for next week, man. Next week is going to be a must-see SmackDown. For sure. Must see. Moving on. So Bayley, she comes out. The fans chant Bayley. She says that they made her feel a little bit better about coming out. Bayley says that there's a big part of her that doesn't believe what happened last week even happened at all. She says, like her or not, they're cool right now. And that's because they've been on this journey with her. And they know what's in her heart. Bayley says, Damage Control meant everything to her. Bayley thanks the fans and says Damage Control were her family. She said that we saw how many times she put Damage Control over herself, and all they did was take from her. Bayley says after she thought she won the Royal Rumble, they would be happy for her, but that didn't happen. They left behind her back. They would stop talking to her when she would enter a room. Bayley says that she's not an idiot, and at WrestleMania, Iyo will learn the hard way. So Dakota Kai comes out. She tells Bayley that she has been trying to reach her all week, and Bayley's ghosting her. Dakota Kai says she had to meet with her doctor last week because she didn't know all this was happening. Bayley tells her to cut it. She knew what was going on. Dakota tells Bayley that she was put in a tough spot, but she always believed in Damage Control. So Dakota Kai says that Iyo believed too, up until Kyrie and Asuka came along. But once they got into Io's head, the rest was history. Bayley asked Dakota Kai why she didn't tell her, and Dakota says she wanted to, but didn't know how. So Dakota says she misses. Bayley says she misses the three of them with Iyo. No, Dakota says she misses the three of them with Iyo because they could do no wrong because they always had each other's backs. She tells Bayley that she was always a mentor and she would not be here without Bayley. So Dakota Kai says it looked like Bayley's plan was working. The Kabuki Warriors won the tag titles. Bayley won the Rumble. And they were close to having it all. And she thought the situation with Kyrie and Asuka would blow over, but it didn't. Bayley asked where she stands. And then out comes the Kabuki Warriors and Iyo. So Dakota, she dips out and she gets a chair. So Iyo, Asuka, and Kyrie, they get on the ring apron. And then Dakota Kai starts ringing a chair. So they all dip out. And Dakota Kai, she drops the chair. And her and Bayley look at each other. And Bayley kicks the chair to the outside. So this is fine there. I guess they're going to slow burn this still. It makes perfect sense if we're being honest. We know that Dakota Kai is probably going to turn on Bayley, I would assume. she's not medically cleared. So who comes and helps Bayley in this spot? The only person I can think of is Naomi. But who's going to be that third person to help out Bayley? Because we all know Sasha's going to go to AEW, so that's not going to happen. So who's going to be in that Sasha role? I know some people have said Charlotte, but Charlotte's injured, so she's not going to be there for a while either. So I don't know who they could put in as a third. I really don't know. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. But it's interesting to see where it goes. Moving on. So Kayla Braxton, she had a backstage interview with Randy Orton. Randy Orton tells her that earlier tonight, Sami Zayn said it's not a given that everyone makes it to WrestleMania, and he's right. Last year he was injured, but he learned patience. He says in this business, the Viper always. My bad. So Randy says in this business, the Viper is always known when to strike, but now he knows how important it is to wait. As far as Roman Reigns is concerned, he can wait. His road to WrestleMania has taken a slight detour, and if everything goes his way, he'll move on to the Elimination Chamber, and that one constant in the chamber is the most three destructive letters, RKO. Nice. Okay, cool. Moving on from that. Bobby Lashley's backstage with the Street Profits and B-Fab. Can we get rid of those braids for B-Fab, please? Like, those braids have got to go. No. So, they talk about the Final Testament, but they have big business to attend to. And that starts Monday with Bobby Lashley going up against Bronson Reed in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Okay, that's fine there. That gives Bobby Lashley something to do, although we know that Karrion Kross is probably going to get involved, and they're going to continue the feud. So Bronson Reed will probably just be in the chamber because he's from New Zealand. So he'll definitely get in. No, he's from Australia. My bad. He's from Australia, so he'll get in. That's fine. Moving on, a match I didn't care about. That was British Strong Style, aka Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne versus DIY, which is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate win via the bitter end. Who gives a shit? Fuck this shit. So they're gonna face the Judgment Day at the Elimination Chamber. Oh my god. Moving on. So Byron Saxton, he's backstage, and Dominic Mysterio comes in. Dom says that after Finn and Damian retain their tag titles, Rhea Ripley will wipe the floor with Nia Jax, and he's going to shoot his shot at Destiny. He's going to win the Elimination Chamber and face Seth Rollins, and he will have matching titles with Rhea. Byron tells him he still needs to qualify. Dom says he doesn't care who they put in front of him, and then in comes Kevin Owens. KO tells Dom that the only thing that'll happen next week is that he's going to give him the biggest beatdown of all time. Dom walks away, in comes R-Truth. He yells Nick, and Kevin Owens asks him if he wants Nick Mysterio, and R-Truth says Nick Aldis. So, pretty good little comedy segment there. Dom's not going to be in the chamber. I don't think Dom's going to be in the chamber at all. I really don't. I feel like you need to have serious contenders in the chamber to make it look legit. So you need, like, all 6, like, legit contenders. So I'm thinking that, Drew McIntyre is going to... Drew McIntyre's... he's already qualified. Randy's already qualified. Bronson's going to qualify next week. So the chamber should be okay. But the chamber needs to be taken seriously, though. Moving on. So Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, they're backstage. So in comes Logan Paul, who tells Nick Aldis he wanted a challenger for his United States Championship, but instead he's in a qualifying match. He says he doesn't need to qualify. He's a prize fighter. Logan Paul says I mean, Logan Paul says that Nick Aldis has them fighting next week in Utah, and he should be getting the Rock treatment, and that is walking in and smacking someone and leaving on a jet. Logan Paul says he'll do it. He'll win the Elimination Chamber, and after he wins the title at WrestleMania, he'll walk out as a double champion. Nick Aldis says he'll face The Miz next week. So this is great. So I'm loving this. This is tremendous. This is excellent. Excellent. Now, does KO get involved in this? I don't know. Probably so. Probably so. I would assume that KO does get involved so they can continue their feud. I'm shocked that Santos Escobar wasn't in this. I'm really shocked about that, too. Like, that's weird to me, though. I don't know why Santos Escobar's not in there. I'd rather have Santos Escobar in there over Ivar. Ugh. No. But Logan Paul being in there would be fine, too. That would give the Chamber some star power. So, there's that. Main event. Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. Randy Orton wins via the RKO. So he qualifies. Post-match, Sami Zayn leaves the ring. Randy Orton celebrates on the second rope. He comes down, and then Drew McIntyre, he's standing in the ring. Both guys come face-to-face, and SmackDown goes off the air. So that was pretty cool there for that. Randy Orton already qualifying, and Drew McIntyre already qualifying for the Chamber is fine. I think that's great. The Elimination Chamber should be very important. I don't know why you have to have two chambers. I really don't. It makes zero sense. I do think that they'll probably... my bad. Let me start over. I think that the final two of the chamber will come down to Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. And that's probably when Drew will go over because he's the only one that makes sense. He needs it. Randy can still feud with Roman, maybe, but it's not going to happen. So I don't know. But we all know that Drew McIntyre is going to go over. He needs to win the Chamber. So SmackDown was okay for the most part this week. It was pretty solid for the most part. The Chamber qualifying matches were decent. Triple H throwing shots at The Rock is fine too. I like that. I'm very intrigued and I'm excited for next week. Damage control stuff is okay. But now it's all about the Chamber. But next week is going to be extremely must-see television. It's going to be must-see. It's can't miss television, and I cannot wait. I'm all for this shit. I'm all for Rock and Roman. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, what do you guys think of SmackDown? Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.